Welcome back into another edition of In Depth with Lindenwood Athletics, and we're here with Katie Falco, the head coach of the women's basketball team. Katie, good start to the season so far. You guys get a nice win at home last week. Moving into the final game of the season here, or I should say of the calendar year in 2020. Talk to me about how the last few weeks have been.
Yeah, I've been really proud with our team and how much we've grown. You know, as a coach, that's something that you really look for to see, because you know you're not going to be where you want to be this early in the season, but you do look at progress and you look at some development in the areas that the areas that you're investing in practice. How is that translating onto the court in games, and how is that translating to the win and loss category? And I'm really pleased with the progress we have made. Really starting to take care of the basketball. We're valuing possessions. We're being much more efficient offensively, defensively. We're making shots from the three and around the rim. I really am really pleased with where our team is at, where we're going, the direction we're moving, how quickly we are responding, and then coming off with two big wins at home, most recently Truman State, is a really good feeling. One game to close out here in December, and hoping we can finish that with victory as well. You
go back to that Truman State game, a little bit of a slow start. You guys get down, but I think that shows the resilience you're talking about. You guys came roaring back, very quickly, and just like that, you guys had the lead back. What was the message to your team, when you guys are down, saying, hey, we're still in this, we got to fight back?
Yeah, we just kept fighting, and that's the message we gave. I talked about, as simple as it is, make shots, because we were blowing a few little easy ones, but we have to buckle down, and we have to want this more than they do. And that was really the big message. You're going against this person, across from you, whether it's offensively or defensively, and you got to want it just a little bit more. Both teams are tired. Both teams are exhausted. Both teams are doing good things. But we have to do it a little bit better. And when you're coming out of a hole, and we were down 13, we easily could have kind of rolled over or thrown the towel in a little bit. And I would say the previous, the first couple games of the year, we did that. We didn't have that maturity from an adversity standpoint. When things didn't go the way we wanted, we kind of folded a little bit. And that's what I'm so pleased with the team right now, is that they didn't stop playing. They kept fighting. They kept their resiliency. They competed, and certainly making baskets helps, but it feeds off of that. You get a stop and it feeds your offense. You make a basket and it gives you a little bit more energy and motivation defensively. So I just like to see how we put the pieces together, and that competing, that fight, that grit is the message that we gave, and I was really happy to see how they responded to it.
As far as chemistry is going, it's always a challenge each year to get the returners to come back, kind of the way what they were last season, but then improve. Then you add in the freshmen, the transfers, all that. So as far as team chemistry, on and off the court, how has it been from what you've seen so far?
Really good. We just have a fantastic group of young women, and they are close on the court, but they're probably more close off the court. It's amazing. I share that whether it's with recruits or just when talking about our program, how close our players are, and it's a true statement. So they invest a lot in each other, into their relationships. They choose to spend time off the court, a little bit harder these COVID days, but that's who they choose to, kind of run around with and put in their time. And so it's neat. I think when you have a really strong bond off the court and you have those levels of trust and those knowing each other a little bit on a deeper level outside than just being a friend or a teammate, you give each other a little bit more. You play for each other. You can help somebody bounce back because you know how they respond to this moment that they're feeling in their life or whatever it may be. So I think there's a direct correlation to how they interact off the court to how they interact on the court, and we're improving in that area, and I think it's really good. They found ways to be creative through COVID to be able to continue those relationships, and you can see that carrying over onto the basketball floor as well.
What can you tell me about the freshmen? You're putting a lot of trust in young players, but they're making it happen.
I've always believed in developing our young players. I think that's what great programs do in terms of showing them that, if they've earned it, if they're good enough, to give them some of those early experiences, some of those early minutes. And we have played, we have 4 freshmen, and we've played them pretty good minutes, I would say, throughout the season so far in a young season. And I just think that helps for their own development. It helps for their careers. It helps our team to be able to have some more balance and depth. I think that's really important. Nikki Hernandez came in and did a great job there when we needed to her in the last 16 minutes of the game, and she did. She's a great shooter, and she was able to hit 2 big threes down the stretch for us and to be able to play through some fatigue. She was kind of tired, and we're like, you got this, you could play through it, and she did well. She really responded. Grace certainly has done a really good job for us being at starting point guard. She's, figuring out her role and what everybody else does around her, as a point guard and as a leader on the floor. That's half of your battle. Not only what can you do, but how can you create opportunities for your teammates, and where do your teammates need to be, getting everybody on the right spot, being the floor general, and she's learning to do that at a higher pace at the college level. And then we have Kendra Lee and Autumn Brown, and they're both finding their ways too, and what I like about it is that they're very, their skill sets in some ways are similar, but in a lot of ways are different. And that makes them special, because what they can do and what we need them to do is specific to them. And they can all play together. They're not the same kind of mold of who each other are. And there are multiple positions. And so they keep working hard and keep learning as we go. But I just think that that's a sign to when you can get some young players, some early experience, some early opportunities in big games, like Nikki was able to do there, for example, down the stretch. It grows confidence in our staff and what we feel like we can put on them in certain situations. It grows confidence in them, and it helps their teammates realize that, hey, I got this, and I can do this too. And I think it's so good for the program and what we need, because it's a long season, for their players' motivation, and also for the future of our program.
And they know they like the confidence they get in themselves, but then they know you guys trust them, and when you put them in that situation, just helps every side of it. So it's really cool. As far as this time of the year, it's really difficult as a D2 coach to have to deal with, it's obviously winter break. It's nice they'll get to go back, and even with COVID, hopefully see some family and everything, but you get a full week off. You guys have been going hard for the last couple months, and now you kind of got to say, all right, 7 days, like go get some stuff done, but we can't do anything with you. So, what do you tell the girls going into break? As you get prepared for the big chunk of your season in January and trying to stay focused while also enjoying the holidays?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is it is a long season. Basketball covers both semesters, so we're unique in that. It's not like we have one busy semester and then we have the other semester kind of off. We extend over a long period of time. I think it's the longest collegiate sport we have, NCAA. And so, during that break, that's the one thing at D2 I've really learned to love. That was different when I was at the Division I level. We would get 3-4 days maybe, and that's tops. Here, you get that mandatory week off, and I tell them to go enjoy it. You want their headspace to be good when they come back. You want their bodies to be recovered. You want them to enjoy special time with family and friends that they don't get a lot of. Players sacrifice a lot to play college athletics and to play college basketball, where for several holidays we're competing, over Thanksgiving and Christmas and just in general. And so I want them to go enjoy it, and you hope that they pick up a basketball, and you hope that they condition on their own some, so when they come back we can kind of hit the ground running. But for them to come back, kind of clear their mind, have a really good start, and have a new purpose and a new focus going into the second half of the season. And I always think it's a really, really good break, and for coaches and players, have a little bit of time off, because you don't get a lot of that during the year.
No, you're right. Yeah, once you get going, there's no stopping. It's just the train keeps moving. So, as far as finishing out 2020, you guys got one more game against UMSL coming up on Friday. Been kind of a crazy start to the season, where you guys are used to the Thursday, Saturday back-to-back games. You've had a Friday game, you've had a Sunday game. It's been kind of all over the place. It feels like you guys have had an extra couple days maybe to prepare for this one. Early, what do you see from the Tritons, and what do you expect from them?
Yeah, they have a really good 4-player, and she's really athletic. She can post, she can play in the perimeter. She just is a really good rebounder and does a lot for them athletically. She's a returner, that Laporta is her name, and she just does a really great job. And then they have guards who like to push the play pace, aggressive off the dribble, going in transition, and they have some inside presence as well. So they're going to play hard. They compete at a really high level. Last year, both of our games were extremely competitive, and it's going to take us to play a really good, complete game, especially on the road. So, for us, we are focusing on ourselves this week. And then as we get closer to Friday, we'll certainly start implementing scout. But they're versatile. Guarding the basketball one-on-one, whether it's in the post or on the perimeter, is going to be really important for us. And then, just be able to play well together offensively are some things that we're kind of focusing on, cleaning up some pieces of our offense that are some small details but are really important. And so, yeah, it's playing on a Friday is a little bit different. And I would say one of the most challenging things right now is just a change of schedule. Our players had finals last week, and their bodies were stressed and fatigued physically from not getting a lot of sleep and then playing 2 games during a finals week. And I thought our girls just handled that with a ton of maturity. I mean, to be able to get 2 games in and win both games during finals week is pretty incredible. Now they're done. And so now it's this complete, their day-to-day schedule looks different. I'm always a creature of habit, and I'm not sure if you are, but most people probably would say they are. They like a routine or they like some structure. And now our girls go from busy, stay up late, take tests early, do all this, play basketball, to now, wow, I've got some more time on my hands, and how do I handle that? And so it seems really good and positive, and it is, but just how do they use that time and keeping our focus until winter break starts. With the holidays coming up, our players are so excited to see their families or go home or do, whatever their family traditions are. And sometimes our minds can get ahead of our bodies, and we can already start thinking there or be there mentally when we've got a job to do here. And that's to win one more basketball game. So I think that's the biggest challenge that I have as a coach, is to keep them motivated. They think of, oh gosh, we have 4 days of practice before we can play, because it's only a one day or one game this week as opposed to 2. So there's more practice time, and they'd rather just play games, and I don't blame them. But kind of keeping that focus and keeping that narrowed purpose of what we're doing while we've got them on campus, then we can send them home and they can have a great time.
Coach, we appreciate your time, and we're looking forward to Friday, finish out 2020 strong.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, TJ.